Good afternoon, beauty people. I'm back. Today's one of those days, where everything's going wrong. The hair doesn't want to go right. The makeup's messed up. You ever have one of those days? And then in the video, my mannequin didn't want to sit up straight, but I'm here anyway. So what I want to show you today is really the 4 main roller placements that most of us as hairstylists use, whether it be with the curling iron, with the blow dryer and round brush, or with rollers. Today I'm showing you the 4 main roller placements with rollers, so it's wet hairstyling, and then I'm going to show you next time a full roller set. So I hope you enjoy this. There are different size rollers, as you can see here, and there's different shapes. Okay, so just to be clear, in this video I'm only showing you the 4 main roller placements, and then the next time I will show you a full-fledged roller set using only one of the roller placements, and then we'll do a comb out showing you the effect from that one roller placement. The first thing that I want to show you is when you're doing your sections, well, first off, my table setup. I have my rollers, I have a rat tail comb. However, you would use an all-purpose comb to do your sectioning. I use double prong metal clippies, and I have a plastic clip. I have a gel pomade type thing, but there's different things that you can use for roller sets. You can use a lot of body. There's a setting mousse that you can use. Now when you're sectioning the hair, you use the length of your roller to determine the width of your section. So in other words, you're using the length of the roller so the hair falls inside of the length of the roller. You don't want the hair to expand outside of the roller, because the hair that you're forcing to go on the roller will not curl as well as the hair that's set in the roller. So hopefully that makes sense with what I'm saying. But also, I wanted to tell you that you pick rollers technically. So if you had this question on your written test, you would pick your rollers according to the length of the hair. So that's with anything, with the curling iron, with round brushes, you pick according to the length of the hair. Now in the real world, does it always work that way? No, it does not. Because if someone has really long hair, technically you would pick the largest rollers, right? Which there's some pretty big rollers out there. However, just know that the client won't have any curl because long hair is heavy, right? So you would want to go down a size to a size and a half in order to get a curl in there where the weight of the hair may loosen the curl, but she'll still have curls. She or he will still have curls in there. So I'm just doing a section right in the front top just to show you all how to do these roller placements. And when we're finished, you really won't see too much of a difference, but there is a difference. And so what I was drawing on the board earlier were the 4 roller placements over directed. How do I want to explain this? When it says over directed, that means you're over directing it from the scalp, right? And then you have on base, half off base, and off base. So I always relate the base to being the scalp, right? Because when it's sitting on base, the roller is going to sit on the scalp, and that's what that means. And that's where you're going to have your most volume, your most curl. So when you're subsectioning the hair here, you want to do your subsections as wide as the width of your roller. That means the larger your roller is, the wider your subsection is going to be. And as you can see, I'm taking the circle of the roller and putting it up to my parting. If the hair went outside of that circle, that means my subsection is too large. If it goes under that, that means it's too little. So I have to add a little more hair to it. Now I'm taking the hair and I am over directing it from me as far as I can. So you would think that over directed has the most volume, but it really doesn't. It has a lot of volume. And in fact, when you're doing updos and you want to do a bump in the hair, or you think of like the Grease hairstyles on the movie Grease, or who else wore like a pompadour type look? Elvis, that kind of look. The hair is flatter at the base and then the hair curls back. So another way you could look at it is when someone's surfing and you can see that wave curling over the surfer. That would be another example of over directed where the surfer is surfing on the surfboard, it's flat, but then the wave curls over that surfer, and that's over directed. So you have a lot of volume, but not the most volume because that curl is flat in the scalp area and then it curls over. Whereas on base, that hair is coming right out the scalp, curling. So then you have your most volume set at on base. So I try to get it as tight and smooth as I can because when you're doing a real client, how you roll that hair determines how those curls are going to come out, because when you finish, you're putting her under the dryer. And how long would you put her under the dryer? That depends on the texture and density of your client's hair. Of course, the thicker the hair is, the longer she's going to be under the dryer. Your average client, I would say most of the time, is between 30 to 45 minutes. But remember, that's not set in stone. And of course, the finer their hair is and the shorter their hair is, it's less time. It could be anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. All right, so the next placement that I'm doing is on base, and I am making sure that my subsection is as wide as my roller, so I'm going to check that. And as you can see, I'm putting the circle up to the parting, and it's a little bit larger than my circle, so I'm just going to take a little hair off just to make sure that it's the right size. Because again, when you have them too wide width-wise, the hair may not curl properly. It's just too much hair. And when it's too much hair, it may not dry properly also. So with an on base curl, I'm over directing that hair not as much as I would with over directed placement, but I'm over directing it more like a 45-degree away from myself to make sure that it sits on the scalp. And I think I had to do this a couple of times. But you have to really make sure you over direct it so it sits on the scalp. And you won't see any parting or anything when it's sitting on the scalp. Yep. And I had to over direct it just a little bit more. Another thing I wanted to tell you guys too is when you are rolling that hair, and I think I showed it if you can't see, but my ends are spread apart. In other words, you don't want the ends bunched together, because what can happen is you have a nice curl in the base area, but then the ends look like little skinny tails. So then you would have to end up using your curling iron to curl the ends to match the rest of the curl. And then you want to make sure that you clip inside of the roller. Now, some people use the single prong for the rollers. I know where I work, they use single prong clippies. I prefer double prong just to give it a little more strength. There's double prong metal clippies that actually slide all the way into the roller to ensure that that roller is going to sit on the head. So everyone has their preference. Just know that there's more than one way to do it. And of course, if you're watching this YouTube video, you know there's so many different ways to achieve something. So the next one that I'm going to do is half off base. Half off base gives you some volume, but not the most volume like on base. So the reason why I'm showing this video in the first place is so that you will understand that the way you direct the hair gives a certain effect to the hair. So if someone already has a lot of hair, you don't want to give them all on base placement so that they have extra volume, because their hair would look extra puffy. And someone with a lot of hair, they want their hair to look a little more sleek, not as voluminous, because it's already voluminous because they have a lot of hair. So you would want to use something like half off base or off base. With half off, you're combing that hair straight up from where you are on the curve of the head. And then you're rolling that hair down. So in the base area, it's going to be a little flatter. Most people, when they're rolling the hair, they will roll automatically on base on the top, and then in the back, half off and off, following the curve of the head. The problem with that is, if that's not how they wanted their hair, if their hair is really fine, they're going to want volume all over. So now what would happen is, when you do that roller set, you're going to have to back comb the back where you rolled half off and off to match the volume on the top where you rolled on base. So that's why it's good to understand your different placements, because when you're doing curls with the curling iron, blow drying with the round brush, you need to know how to direct that hair to achieve the look that you're going for. The last roller placement that we're going to be doing is off base. So remember what I told you. That just means that the roller is going to be sitting off of the scalp. So that's going to give you less volume in the base area, meaning that it's going to be more of a curl and flatter in the scalp area. Another thing that I wanted to challenge you with, those of you who are watching this video, if you're going to practice roller placements and you're going to practice rolling the hair, I challenge you to keep your comb in your hand. Professionals keep their combs in their hands. It saves more time and it is more professional. So every time you roll the hair, if you notice, I am not sitting my comb down, picking it back up again. That just takes up too much time. So an off base curl, the hair is angled at a 45 going towards you, the person who's rolling the hair. Her head kept slipping off. I didn't know what was going on with that. Please remember, if you guys have any questions, any comments, to leave them in the comments section. Like and share this video. with anyone that you know of that's interested in going to cosmetology school. Yeah, I have many more videos to come, so many more. But the next time I want to show you guys a full roller set, show you the comb out, and yeah. So I'm going to clip this one in the top area because remember the roller sitting off the base, so it has to be clipped on there where it won't slide off. And this time I just used one clippy just to show you not to be in the habit of, in other words, developing a crutch where you feel like you need two clippies, because the truth is if you clip it correctly you do not need two. So I'm showing you here the 4 roller placements. You may or may not see the difference, but you can see where the hair is tilted off base. You can see where the next one is half off base, so it's got a little more volume than the off base. And then you see the on base is completely on the scalp, and then over directed, which is a little hard to see. So I'm going to take that roller out so you can see, because over directed really at the base is completely smooth and flat. I want to thank you all again so much for supporting my channel, for watching my videos, and it's been an honor and a pleasure. So hopefully I will be doing this for a long time to come, and hopefully you are really learning from these videos. But I just wanted to show you without the roller how the hair looks. Hold on, let me clip there. And you can kind of see where it swirls flat away from, and then it swoops back like a tidal wave. Or if you can imagine someone surfing in there. And there you have it. Your 4 roller placements. Thank you again, guys, and have a good week. God bless you. Bye.